concept that's more like
of media
almost
spectrum.
Like the stock market, like it's valuable, that you can actually invest in. And you were talking about infrastructure. You're actually emphasizing that. And you said embrace technology. So can you please define for the state of Connecticut, embrace and define technology?
Did someone put her up to this?
No, I swear, I'm hoping, I'm just...
No, as a lay person that comes, as a content creator, as someone who's an actor who's on the other side of it, I think these are incredibly valuable questions, and I'm just having a little fun with you. So, embrace technology. I'll reiterate, what I said in summation, which is, to embrace technology means to continue to provide the financial support and the legal infrastructure to be able to allow this and allow the entertainment community to grow and flourish. This is not a short-term proposition. And it's brick by brick, and it's building it through the programs, through the education, through the workforce, and through the unions, and through all of our support on multiple levels.
Thank you. Is there any more questions for Jennifer? Great, thank you. Real quick, Jennifer, one last thing. As we move towards incorporating a lot of your comments into future legislation, you mentioned financial support and the legal community are going to be key aspects in sort of creating that vision. So as a body here, as we look to do those sorts of things, more detailed information and statements from your perspective would be helpful for this committee so that we can use that as a jumping off point, if you will, for future legislation. So thank you for your comments.
So thanks for tuning into our program. Hopefully we've impressed upon you the importance of digital media, and you've gained a deeper understanding of the various ways that it touches your life now and will continue to do so in the future. Once again, I'm Jennifer Bayles for Media Reporter.
Jennifer Romano here from Media Reporter. We're standing here with Romano Bayles, who is actually the sculptor and artist who designed this statue, which is the triumph of human spirit, for the New York City African burial ground. Lorenzo, will you tell us a little bit about how this statue came about?
Well, hey, it's been a long struggle but in 1991 they discovered the oldest African burial ground right here in this spot here. They was building a federal office building, and they knew that in the old city maps this was the Negroes' burial ground. But they
dating from when? When did they think it started? From slavery?
Yes, right. We're talking about going back to the colonial period. And so they didn't realize that they would discover any remains, because this was the Negroes' burial ground. And so they digging the foundation for the building and discovered 427 African American remains. And so this whole project here is designed to honor those who were enslaved here, because Canal Street was the boundary line for the city, and the African buried they did inside city limits. So all this, even up in the courthouses and all the, they didn't expect to find it, because look at all this excavation, So triumph of the human spirit is to honor all those who were not giving a proper burial.
Do you know about how many slaves they believe were buried in this area?
20,000 were buried. Over 20,000 were buried in this area. And
what does the triumph of human spirit represent, if you could tell us a little bit about that?
Well, triumph of the human spirit is to triumph over adversity. African Americans have been coming out of slavery, and we have produced great musicians, Miles Davis, Wynton Marsalis, and you can go on, and as well as produced great leaders. And so it's our triumph over our adversity. And I think this is the first and the largest monument devoted to our enslavement here in this country.
It's quite an accomplishment.
And I worked on the monument for 10 years. And the boat symbolized the canoes that were used. Native Americans used to have canoes in this area as well. The boat symbolizes the ships that brought immigrants here to the Americas, because basically all came by ship. And also the boat that represents the Africans who were brought here enslaved. And at the very top you see the Chihuahua. The Chihuahua is based on a Mali headdress that's worn by male and female, and is used as a dance. So the Chihuahua represents the male version and the female version, and the female version carries the baby and the next generation on her back. And so my inspiration comes from the female version of Chihuahua from Mali. So, and the pool symbolizes the water, and I always tell people to go to the pool, sprinkle some water over their face, because we all need to heal. We all need to heal. I mean, it's, slavery is not a very easy topic to talk about here in America, because, and also at the bottom you see the lock and the key, and the lock and the key, and also in '91 my father passed away, and I was given the lock that enslaved my great-grandfather. So when I built the monument, I put a bronze replica at the base of the monument that ties my family from Alabama enslaved, as well as New Yorkers. So the monument has, and I also dedicate to my mother and father, and to my uncle who's still alive. He's 94, and he's the one that passed the lock on to us. And I wrote a children's book based on this, and the title of the book is Jelani and the Lock. It's a little boy taken from Africa, brought to the United States, put in locks and chains, and Abraham Lincoln finally freed the slaves. And so the book really inspired me from my daughter's question. She's about 7, and she said, "Daddy, are we from slaves?" And so I had to answer her question, so I wrote the children's book to explain to her our history. And it's not it's something I told her, it's nothing you'd be ashamed of.
It's actually a mark of strength and resilience of, the Africans who came here, and the legal struggle that I believe it even took to get this monument up, right? You said it took you 10 years.
And it was a struggle, but that's been our struggle anyway in this country. So, we look at, all our great people who come through, Martin Luther King, Malcolm. And this struggle has continued. Now I think that we have to acknowledge that we're all on this little small planet, and we all got to figure out a way how to make this work for everybody. We got to figure that out, and that's one of the most difficult things I think we are faced as a human species, because we only got so many resources left, and this whole issue of racism, color your skin, determines, that has to be eliminated. We got to judge, like King said, on the content of a person's character, not to, So, I hope people come here and reflect in terms of where we have come from as a society.
Well, thank you, Lorenzo, very much for sharing your story with Media Reporter.
Yeah. Where are y'all from?
We're from New York Law School. It's the Media Reporter is our station where we broadcast and discuss really important issues in society, and this is definitely one of them.
Well, you dig now. They got this protest up here. You see, now it's just kind of like a rallying point for, you're right here in front of the United States Courthouse. You see all the TV and all the cameras. It must be something happening, But this is a rallying spot, and that's what I really envisioned the place to be. We can come, reflect, cool out, think about, what we have gone through and what we have come from.
It's nice to see your vision become a reality.
Yeah, thank you.
For Media Reporter, this is Jennifer Romano.